I think we are live once again. Turn the music down a little bit. Welcome, everybody. I know it's been a while, but we're back, baby. Film Heat live, back in action. We're all still getting a little, we're getting used to our every other weekend schedule. So, thank you guys for bearing with us and hanging out. Did we lose Eric? I think I thank you for muting me over here. Forgot about that. What's going on, guys? You guys are still muted.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Yeah. See, I told you we had to practice, y'all. Here we go.
We're out of practice. It's been 2 weeks since the last show we did. There he is. Adam back. There we go. So this week we're looking at our movie reboot list. I tried to pick movies that we'd already looked at the originals for, but there's only so many. But what do you guys think about this list overall? Not surprised.
It's pretty good range. I mean, I thought it was a pretty well-rounded list. Like there's like one good one, a bunch of middle of the road ones, and one garbage one. I was just thinking about that. Reboots are weird because they're like, are reboots worse than sequels? Because they're just like, you're just throwing out the originals and just like, let's do that again, actually, right?
Yeah.
And it's creatively bankrupt if you do that in a sequel. You just do the same thing, right? Are you just like putting yourself on easy mode as a writer? Like, I'm going to do a reboot. Anything?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a common criticism of reboots. But these days,
didn't they boot it right the first time?
A lot of times, yeah. I feel like they're rebooting the wrong movies. They need to be. There's plenty of shit movies that could have been better. That could use a reboot.
Mm-hmm. But they reboot the good ones. Like,
why?
Didn't need one. Yeah.
Huh? Absolutely, right? Absolutely didn't need one. And these days they're splitting the difference. They're like double cheating. They're doing requels, which is like a half reboot, half sequel kind of a thing.
Which, like the Ghostbusters thing, where it's like it's in the same. Well, actually, that wasn't that actually, but
it kind of was. Yeah, Ghostbusters 2016 is kind of a requel, where it's like in the same universe, but it's a reboot. And Ghostbusters, what was it, 2020?
The most recent one there.
The most recent one came out.
That's
definitely a requel because they even have the guys, like the actual characters in it. We lost Eric again. Have you guys seen Ghostbusters 2020?
No.
Well, a couple of the kids are related to Egon. Like they're actually his grandkids. So like, it's like directly in universe. And I don't want to spoil it, but I will say Red Letter Media guessed correctly. Again.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Rich ruined shit for me. Chat liked Lady Ghostbusters.
The Lady Ghostbusters? You know what? I never brought myself to watch it. Couldn't do it. I was just unsold by the promotional material.
Yeah. But there's actual good reboots. Like, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, but I thought like the Judge Dredd reboot. Like the original Judge Dredd movie is like the most 90s meh, whatever movie, right? And that's a special there.
Mm-hmm.
But like that reboot was done right because it was like it was a name only pretty much. Like
very much a reboot. Yeah. And
definitely not a remake.
Hold on a minute. You just read about a Max Headroom reboot? That's amazing. Man. And there were so many reboots coming down the pipe. I've been reading about some reboots. So many reboots coming down the pipe and sequels to reboots. Right when that COVID saved us from, man. Like COVID wasn't all bad. It saved us from a bunch of terrible movies. Yeah, there were some stinkers coming down the pipe for sure. All right, what is going on, Hellion Unreal? She's gonna drop the spoiler right there in chat. That I wasn't gonna do it, but hey.
Oh, they gave him the Tarkin treatment. They're just like, oh.
Yeah, they had a CGI. They CGI'd him in. Like the kids are the grandkids of Egon, and they inherit his old farmhouse. Yeah.
Question: we know how I am with like pre and post Coke Harold Ramis there. So which one was it? It was like an older, digitally aged up, fat Ramis, or was it like real Egon from the 80s?
You know what? They did a best of both worlds, where he's like old Harold Ramis, but he's not like fat Harold Ramis. Yeah, so
I hope that's what they do to me. They puts me in a movie CGI, like, come on, slim me down.
Yeah,
take them 10 pounds of camera puts on off. Equal it out. Come on.
That's right. So yeah, let's take a look at the movies that we looked at this week. We've got the 2014 RoboCop reboot, 2013 Evil Dead reboot, 2012 Dread reboot, 2011 Conan the Barbarian reboot, 2004 Dawn of the Dead reboot, the only non-20 teens, and 2012's Total Recall. That's one thing I noticed. Most of these movies all came out. And this list of movies was taken off of a much larger list that we still can pull from. Most of these reboots all came out in the early 2010s.
Does that mean that was like the most creatively bankrupt era, where they're like nothing?
That's what I was thinking. Honestly, it's like the dark age of Hollywood, 2012.
Hang on, now, did any good movies come out from that region? Can we even think of any? Like,
I can't think of what I had for breakfast this morning, but
there was something that we were talking about that we really liked from that era on the last list, but I can't remember it now, of course. But
yeah,
if I think of
definitely wasn't Harry Potter.
No,
that was like the ass into Harry Potter around then. Yeah.
2010s movies. The Social Network. That was a good movie.
I never seen it because I don't like the subject matter.
Yeah. True Grit reboot came out around the same time.
Nope.
Gravity.
Ew. I really hate that movie.
There's so many bad movies from the 2010s, dude. So many.
I can't think of one good movie. So wait, hang on. What about what's that space movie with McConaughey that we talked about the other week? Didn't that come out around the same time?
Interstellar. That was like 2019 though, or something.
That was 2019. Yeah. I thought it was.
No, I think you're right. I think it was 2015.
2014, bro. It's like right up in there. So some good movies did come out.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
That's the one I was trying to think of. There we go. So,
has it been that long since Interstellar? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Wall Street was pretty good,
and that's a beautiful movie. So,
time doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, certainly not to me.
Look, time doesn't mean anything to Eric either.
Inception was
I think
2011.
He's doing his best at mime impression ever.
I think his internet is wigging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He's moving at 1 frame a second there.
Yeah.
Am I
For the
zipping
listening
all over the
audience.
place or something?
Yeah, your camera was frozen, so
Oh, nice.
I've been
Robot
there.
Eric.
I've been to
Malfunctioning.
frozen land.
Just a picture of me. Like they was threatening to do that anyway.
Yeah, we were all gonna be Eric, but like we're gonna have his head on top, and there's gonna be his naked body for like the rest.
Oh, here we go. See, chat is helping us out. Inception, people like that. People thought that was good, right?
Inception was good. I gotta. Let me make I have to admit something right now.
Uh-oh.
I've never seen Inception.
Neither.
I just never watched it.
I thought you were a big fan of that guy. Who was the
Christopher
director
Nolan?
guy?
I am. I really
like
am.
a Nolan head, and
That's like the one movie of his I haven't seen, other than Tenet, which came out quasi recently.
Which like another along the same lines, seemingly.
Yeah. So,
did you see Nightcrawler? Chat's talking about Nightcrawler. That was an all right movie.
No, never saw that movie.
Not a Gyllenhaal fan, huh? Okay.
Morbin time.
That's not Gyllenhaal. That's the other way
that's the other
worser.
I always confuse those two. What's his
Jared
name?
Leto.
Leto, yes. I always confuse Gyllenhaal and Leto. Whether I should or not.
Gyllenhaal is way superior. He's like, if you need something like that,
yeah,
go Gyllenhaal, not Leto. He's a weirdo.
Yeah. Absolutely. Don't go to Leto for anything, obviously.
No.
Unless you want somebody to ruin the character of the Joker for everybody.
Just ruin it for everybody.
He's too old to play the anxious teenager. And
yeah.
I feel he's a little bit useless now.
Oh, you're a robot, man.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at
we
round
can
one.
Stop bashing Jared Leto now.
This is the Jared Leto cast.
Because I was like cracking the knuckles about to just lay into that motherfucker.
About to do him like they did in Fight Club, boy.
Rearrange that face. All right. So up first, we're looking at 2014's RoboCop versus 2013's Evil Dead. So let's take a look at the trailer for RoboCop.
Who is this guy that even plays him, bro? I don't recognize him from
He's no one. He's like literally no one. I guess they blew all their budget on everybody else in this movie.
Hi, baby. Too slow, boy.
They had hit up so many people.
He looks like Matt Stone, kind of like a younger, weird.
Yeah, he kind of does. He's like Matt Stone's kid brother.
Matt Pebble.
He's like Walmart Tony Goldwyn, who's already like Walmart Bob Saget.
Tony Goldwyn plays a bad guy and everything. He's just like
yeah. He was in that 6 Day movie with the cloning. He's the weird clone guy.
Oh, he was kind of jacked in that movie, though. It looked like Tony Robbins.
Oh, yeah. I forgot Old Boy's in this, too.
Yeah. The cast could not save this movie.
No, honestly. And that's what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, really? He's in this? What?
Gary Oldman is in this? There he is. Yeah. You want to talk about the weakest Gary Oldman performance? There it is.
I don't know. Gary Oldman's delivered quite a few weak performances lately.
Everyone!
This is weaker than the one where he was the El Presidente.
You need to speak to
Oh.
Like, he had more lines in this one and more opportunity to deliver and just didn't. Like,
Jackie Earl Haley's in this.
Somehow he's overriding the system's
tons of people.
But this is what I call a movie bait and switch here. That's what this is.
Yes. This movie.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
There are so many things wrong with this movie. Oh, I forgot to change this. Hold on. I'm sorry. I got my little bookmarks, but I screwed the pooch.
Whoop.
All right. So yeah, this movie, Jesus Christ, where to even begin?
Joel Kinnaman.
With this movie.
That's the guy?
Yeah, that's the guy. He's been in like nothing. If you look, I guess he did this movie, and everybody was like, oh, "No, we're gonna pass on Kinnaman."
Poor bastard.
But to start it off, they made the movie PG-13. So like every single gun in the movie is like a taser. You know, like he's got his big giant RoboCop gun, but it's like a taser. He's just going around tasing everybody. Like way to completely miss the point of RoboCop. And speaking of missing the point, this movie completely missed the point of RoboCop. RoboCop is supposed to be about like the dangers of the fascist police state, like taking over and like it benefiting off of crime and like creating a hotbed of crime so that they can like harvest a crime-ridden city, you know. And this completely does away with that. This movie is all about like the cops are heroes, yay. And like they really try to bank on the like man versus machine element of the movie, but they really missed the ball on that too. I'm trying to think of the name of the guy that directed this. They tried to get a lot of good people to direct this movie and nobody wanted to do it, so they found somebody else to do it. Like some Brazilian guy.
Padilla?
Yeah, Padilla. And he's a fucking nobody too. Like, yeah, this was
he directed nothing else you've heard of.
Yeah, nothing.
It was like his first English language movie was RoboCop.
Yeah.
So they skimped on the director even? Like, what the hell? Wow.
Yeah, they spent all their budget on that Sam L character.
Yeah, they got this Sam L character who's like, he probably filmed all of his scenes from like the comfort of his home because he's like on a green screen the entire time. He doesn't interact with any other character in the movie because he just plays a like television pundit, like a right-wing extreme pro-fascism like television pundit that they have this character in the movie who's supposed to be like a tool of storytelling, but then they don't use the tool that they've created for themselves.
Right.
It's like, I do not understand the point of that character at all. And I think it's because they were trying to walk that fine line. They're like, oh, this is America. We're a fascist state, so we can't piss off all the fascists. Nobody's going to want to see our movie. So, like, let's dial it back, make it more ambiguous. They tried to make it to where you could interpret it however you wanted. So all the Christo-fascist Americans would see the movie and go, yeah, USA, USA. And, like, and they tried to make it to where like real people could also watch the movie and enjoy it as well, but they failed spectacularly.
He's a real man. He ain't no robot.
Yeah, I'm a real boy. Like, and really that is like the point of the movie. They do like a Pinocchio thing. It's like, got no strings to hold me down. Like. This is the biggest failure of the night. Like, full disclosure, like, spoiler alert.
Yep.
This movie was and
Hands
I think
down.
it was I think it was like 6 or so years after this movie came out that I realized the movie had come out. Like, I think they just didn't promote it. After they finished the movie, they just wanted to like quietly brush it under the rug and like let's try to make whatever pocket change we can off of this thing to try to recoup some of our losses, but like, don't tell anyone.
Yeah. It makes sense that this movie is as bad as it is because it totally translates as a Brazilian guy, non-American, watching RoboCop and just like translating it into, like you said, a PG-13 action movie.
Yeah, like
because we're talking about RoboCop, which was almost NC-17 because of its graphic violence. You know, when Murphy gets killed in the original in the Verhoeven, he's literally like blowing off this arm, blowing off that arm, bullets exploding out of his chest, and then like there's none of that.
that scene made me uncomfortable when I watched it for the first time, like earlier this year. I was like, "Ooh, god dang!"
Sheesh. No RoboCop shooting a guy in the dick in this movie.
No, none of that. There was no heart in this movie. There was no comedy. There was no soul.
No subtext, which is like the other one is like all subtext, you know?
Yeah, the RoboCop story is a tool for subtext. You know, you tell a story through the subtext, and they just eschewed all of that. They just wanted to make a big thin blue line pew pew America movie, and it's just hot garbage. Risky photography. Welcome.
That's actually funny. These are the two movies that surprised me the most in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
RoboCop and Evil Dead.
Evil Dead was one of the few on this list I had actually seen before. But I hadn't seen it since I saw it in theaters, so I couldn't remember a damn thing. So I was like, I remember liking it. Does that mean it's good? I don't know. So I'm glad I watched it again. Speaking of which, let's take a look. What's chat have to say? Did you watch Ash vs. Evil Dead TV series? I watched a little bit. I need to go back and finish it. And I did enjoy it. Hellion Unreal gets it. The blood, just blood everywhere. All right, let's take a look. Go back, and we are looking at Evil. This is the Red Band trailer. So hide your kids. Oh.
Please. You have to get me out of here. Leave this book alone. You don't understand. There was something in the woods. And I think it's in here with us now.
It's the ASMR trailer.
Yeah.
That's why they got the Red Band.
Gross.
No, that's a whole smoothie right there. Come on now.
Smoothies are expensive.
There is something from that book. Something evil. This thing is attached to Mia's soul. We're gonna have to kill her.
You're all going to die tonight. Time to go. Let's
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why it's a Red Band trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Evil Dead reboot. This one is like the truest reboot I've seen in a while. Like it's a true, like, let's take the core seed, like the germ of the idea, and make a whole new movie around it. Oops.
All right.
Welcome back.
Hopefully I fixed it.
You sound better.
Man.
Have some technical difficulties over on Eric's side there. But so yeah, this movie is a totally different story, vibe. I want to see atmosphere, even though it's still, they kept the Necronomicon, they kept a cabin in the woods. So
basically the same cabin.
Yeah.
There's select choice elements that get carried over, like the hand.
Yeah.
The hand, that's true.
And she chops it off before it can like spread.
Yeah.
But for her, it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then there's actually a second hand removal at the very end. And she shoves the nub like down into the chainsaw and uses it to kill the demon. So
instead of making a cuff to stick it on their stump, she just wedged it into the fucking handle and went ham. I was like, hell yeah, that's how you do it.
It's funny, Eli, that you bring this up, because I was just about to ask the guys, because I don't remember. Did this movie have the scene with the tree roots that like tentacle into the chick?
The vines and shit that tentacle her up into the fucking trees and
yeah.
Then the
I must have missed it when I was watching that. I couldn't remember if that was this movie or that other like Silent Hill or something came out around the same time. But
I like how since it was the original guys that were doing this reboot, they took a lot of the original elements and they just fit them together differently.
Yeah, to make a whole new movie. You know, it's a totally different movie built around the same like lattice work, the same framework.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, honestly. Like that's
reboot versus remake.
It's almost like a remake versus a reboot. Like,
well, you know,
yeah. But Silent Hill, Sesame Street compared to Evil Dead. But yeah, this movie did have a lot of on-screen blood. Like, holy God!
Oh yeah,
it holds the record for using the most liquid volume of blood in a single film.
Really?
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
I mean, of course, it was all the same original guys as Bruce Campbell and everything. So,
well, it wasn't Sam Raimi, but
yeah, he produced.
It was. Did he produce it?
Yeah, him and Bruce and somebody else.
Huh. Gotcha. I thought Raimi didn't come back for it, but I could be totally wrong. But yeah, I was just watching some stuff on the original Evil Dead, and when that movie came out, it was like kind of panned across the like movie critic circuit, and it was almost like banned in the UK as like a video nasty. You know, they were like, "Oh no, this is just a gore fest. Like, there's zero redeeming quality to this movie." La 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 la. So,
I mean, it is, and there isn't, and that's what's so good about it.
I think, yeah. I remember the original Evil Dead being like kind of fun.
Yeah, it
And
was
this
a cheesy
movie. This movie is like not fun. Like it is a good movie, but this is not a fun movie. This is an uncomfortable, almost like kind of a feel bad movie because it starts off they're taking their friend / sister. One of the guys is a sister and their group of friends, and they go out to this cabin in the woods because they're going to detox this girl. She's been addicted to drugs. I don't think they established what drugs, pills, probably some sort of opiates, etc. And they're going to detox her out in the woods. And so when she starts getting possessed by this like Pazuzu demon of sorts, the friend group is like, no, she's just withdrawn. So like we just got to like bear through. They don't know how to react. And and that's kind of when I watched it again this week, I was just like, oof, like that's kind of real, like to prey on the audience emotions that way. And then toward the end of the movie, when the brother has to like, it's like about to kill his sister, and she starts doing the whole like suddenly acting like herself, like pleading for her life stuff. It's just like, oof. Shit gets real.
Hell, the very beginning where the girl's sitting there pleading with her dad.
Oh yeah, the dad. Yeah, what an awesome cold open to a movie.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
You just don't know what the hell is going on until dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The cold open in the movie also kind of reminded me a lot of Resident Evil 4, the one with the village and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if you've played Resident Evil 4, but it's my favorite. So, man, that's good stuff. So I believe chat has spoken.
Yep. They went Evil Dead 2-1.
Wait, somebody voted for RoboCop?
They must have.
They don't know. It's okay. Don't hold it against them.
I'm about to ban somebody.
No, the votes are anonymous.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
My pen
was so boring.
No.
RoboCop was worse than boring. It was an affront, a travesty.
It was like somebody was trying to make RoboCop, and then like
somebody who never saw RoboCop made a RoboCop movie.
Yeah, and it was funded by the police.
Yeah, the police union made some donations to that fucking set.
They were like, we're just gonna make a few small changes here. Like we're the police. We're totally not bad.
At least they got Michael Keaton to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne.
Oh damn!
That's hilarious. All right, boys. So what do y'all think?
It's gonna be Evil Dead. RoboCop is
RoboCop is hot garbage. So I'm going Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
Justin? Do I even have to say?
Really? All right. So that's going to be a blowout. 25-0. Evil Dead moving forward to the next bracket, to the next round. Up next, we've got 2012's Dread versus 2011's Conan the Barbarian. So let's take a look. Dread. I feel like it's been pretty one-sided in these heats, but I feel like it's a good thing because these heats. Oh, remember this song? Man. It takes me back.
Makes the brain feel as if time is passing at 1% normal speed.
These heats may be one-sided, but they very accurately demonstrate doing it right versus doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
800 million people living in the ruin of the old world. Only one thing fighting for order in the chaos. The men and women of the Hall of Justice.
Peachtree's is the manufacturing base for all the slow-mo in Mega City 1.
You know how often we get a judge up in Peachtree's?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got one now.
The law.
She has control of everything. Levels 1 to 200.
This is Mama.
Yeah, and Homegirl made this movie right in the middle of filming
I want him dead.
Game of Thrones.
We're gonna have to go through him.
Really?
Rookie, you ready?
This is Game of Thrones star movie versus Game Star Thrones star movie.
Hey, you're totally right. I didn't even think about that.
Let's finish this.
I don't know where Game of Thrones was in 2011, but I can't remember if Conan was pre or post Khal Drogo.
I think it was pre. I want to say Game of Thrones came out in 2012.
Negotiations over.
I guess it started in 2011. I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe the ass in.
Death.
Maybe. First episode date April 17th, 2011. Okay, so
Yeah. So yeah, this movie is how you do a reboot. Yeah. That's good point, Eli. I like that. One thing I love about Dread is the dynamic between a male and female character that never once implies sex or romance.
Seriously.
Not once.
Seriously.
Like,
they need that to the bad guys to do that. The bad guy, the guy that they like take captive, right? And she's like, "What am I thinking about?" And it's like him, like,
that's
they give it to the
true.
baddies too.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, they do have that sex, because they gotta appeal to Americans,
but it wasn't like a crutch for like the writers didn't rely on it as a crutch
Right.
between the two protagonists.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a good observation there.
They take the core material, which I believe was like a comic book or a graphic novel or something like that. The Judge Dredd original IP was like a comic, and to make a whole new movie, just a totally new movie based on that sort of idea.
Yeah, they weren't even relying on any like kind of catchphrases from the last one. There wasn't like, "Oh, eat recycled food, robot." I know that. I know that. I think that was Judge Dredd. Maybe that was another movie, but yeah.
And didn't Judge Dredd have what's his name as the comic relief in the original?
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of like a little side guy.
Derpy,
Yeah.
derp.
Rob Schneider.
No, this is the one reboot for this list that I will 100% say is better than the original, and in my opinion holds more true to the original IP, because in this one, Carl Urban doesn't take off the helmet at all. That's
At all.
The original Judge Dredd IP never takes off the helmet. Never seen without the helmet.
Yeah.
No. It's like Dark Helmet in that way. Yeah, man. That's Dredd.
Yeah, it's a good movie. This movie is a visual treat to behold. The way that they do it, the way that they portray being on the drug, how time slows down and everything just kind of glitters and glistens and stuff like that. It's super neat
They
because it's
crank
not
up the definition.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it was when they were
the shutter speed.
really pushing the 3D movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's also
say,
true.
So
I was about to say, I kind of wish I'd have got to see this one in 3D.
that seems like a studio decision.
But it's a pretty creative way of portraying the experience of being on a drug, because it's not just falling back on the old school Hollywood portrayals of being on drugs. You know, they could have done any of the old tricks, you know, to show the experience of like tripping or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's right. The only other decent portrayal that I can think of is like the Wolf of Wall Street one when he's taking the Quaaludes.
I can't even remember that, but
oh man, yeah, but
it is a good portrayal of that. One of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man,
visually interesting movie.
I'm gonna make a drug movie list. It's gonna be dope.
I see what you did there.
But I was just thinking about like movie portrayals of being on drugs, and I was thinking about the movie Spun, which is another super interesting way of portraying that world. But yeah, Dread is great. They've got to they do a good job of portraying that like dirty, seedy underbelly world, because they go to this like project building, project housing that's like true project housing, this big like compound of housing, and it serves as like the fortress for this crime boss, and in such an interesting way, such a like seedy looking kind of way, that illustrates the world building without having to spell it all out or hang a hat on it, so to speak. You know, it just,
or go anywhere.
Yeah.
You just kind of, the world explains itself to you as you go, and it's a really well done movie, especially for a reboot.
I love movies like this because it all takes place in the course of like, you know, the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a day-long adventure.
It's her rookie shift.
Yeah, it's like one shift. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, this movie kind of follows the sidekick chick. She is like kind of following him around. It's like her first day. She's kind of struggling with things. She doesn't want to kill the guy right away. She does, but
and then feels like shit.
Yeah.
It feels even more like shit a little bit later.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love this movie.
Yeah, it's great. This is, like you said, this is how it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you adhere to the original content while giving a whole new movie that is creatively portrayed and a story masterfully told without having to be spelled out, you know, because in a world like Judge Dredd, I could see people doing like an opening text scrawl to like talk about the world, because it's a very different world, you know. It's in the distant future, everything's different, and the police are judge, jury, executioner.
I think there is text in the beginning of the 95 Judge Dredd.
Of the original? I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm picturing in my mind that like logo with the eagle and like green text, sci-fi.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
They do have to don't they set it up a little bit? They're like there's like I think it's like a voiceover in the beginning where they're like judges.
Oh yeah, no, there's a
now
voiceover.
Justice. So they kind of set it up a little bit that way, but
Yeah, there's a little bit.
But it's quick. It doesn't drag.
Yeah. They don't
It's
like
over before you know it.
Yeah, they don't try to build an entire world on it. They just kind of give you this is the basics and go.
Yeah. It's just that they're not cops, they're judges, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They can kill you on scene.
I feel like most Americans wouldn't understand the difference.
No.
Americans don't understand their own justice system at all.
To be honest, it probably does damage because it makes people think like cops do have that power, and most.
I remember being a little kid watching the original Judge Dredd and not understanding the difference. Just like, wait, cops just murder people all the time. What's the difference between this and that? And
I mean,
they're not.
It's like it's not supposed to be.
I'll explain it when you're older.
And that's one of the things I always liked about Judge Dredd and the IP in a lot of ways is they are not friendly towards the police in their portrayal of them. Like they
aren't there like straight dirty cops on this one? Isn't that one of the challenges you have to overcome? They like send in they call up some dirty cops.
They send in like backup, but the backup is like they're in the employ of like the mob boss or whatever. Like
so they work for Mama.
Yeah. So
great movie.
Great reboot. Way to go, Dredd 2012. Now let's take a look at the trailer for Conan the Barbarian.
It's fine.
I'm kind of torn on this. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this one. Like,
you gotta separate your love for Jason Momoa.
I don't have too much love for Jason Momoa. I think he's a passable actor.
I think he was like better back then, to be honest.
This one's got better pacing than the original.
Right.
It does. I'll give you that.
Shorter, better pacing.
Shorter. By how much?
Yeah, this was pretty long, wasn't it?
I think it was 2 hours.
The original Conan is like 2.5 hours, 2 hours 45 minutes.
The Wilhelm scream. This movie just like I'll get into it.
Superman punch. He's such a hunk.
I'll get into it.
It really.
I mean, he's an absolute babe, and like he does a great
hangs
job.
His hat on having that Argo reaction just then.
What? Huh?
Said it hangs its hat a lot on people having that Argo reaction just then.
So he's a hunk.
It's supposed to. It's supposed to have a hunky character. And it's kind of
right.
I mean, that's kind of the point in the movie, ain't it?
Yeah, Conan is a sexy IP. Like it's all about the fucking
sex and violence.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Sex and violence.
I think this one has like titties. Like 10 minutes in, it's like bam.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this: I'm glad they didn't cast fucking The Rock to do this. Shit again. That would have been like,
no. Oh no.
But with this movie, I don't understand how they could honestly get everything right and still kind of miss the mark.
It's they're suffering from having it tied to the original IP, and I think like.
Yeah, but think about it. How much did you enjoy the original?
Me personally, a lot.
Honestly, I think I'm growing out of Conan as a product. and I think it's the fault of Disco Elysium, this video game that I play. They really did a number on me, shining a light on how Conan the Barbarian is just fascist propaganda, meant to just build maybe not fascist, but just a proto. I don't know. It just seems dumb after it's been explained to you a certain way, and you're just kind of oh, why did you have to explain it to me? No, I don't like it. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I'm just done with Conan. I don't know. But this movie kind of had everything that you would expect in a Conan movie. It's you got your revenge story. You got a guy. He's got his big sword and his badass fight scenes and the babes and the hunky guy and
you killed my father.
They didn't do anything wrong, but why is it not good? It just feels like a kind of a paint by numbers experience a little bit. They just methodically check the boxes, and they were afraid to move outside of a formula. And it's okay, good job. You colored completely inside the lines. Way to go. Good coloring book.
They opened their recipe book to the Conan page.
You followed. Exactly.
Followed that recipe.
You followed instructions to the T. Good job.
You know what? They should have made him gay. They would have made it more.
They should have something.
Because Conan feels like a very old look on the world. I feel like it's Conan and Duke Nukem worldview.
It's boomer. It's boomer shit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
And that's what I was getting at. That's why I'm kind of over it. Because it's just boomer propaganda. Just women are inferior, and so are you. You are like a woman unless you are strong, big.
Yeah, it's.
Can you cleave a man in twain? No.
Yeah.
Back to the gym.
Yeah. And they even there's even a line in the movie where it's just oh, you fight like a woman, and just completely unironic. It's just completely. It's supposed to be taken, and it just felt like a schoolyard in 1993. You play ball like a girl.
And then proceeds to get beaten ball by a girl.
Yeah. But I guess that's a movie. It's pretty simple, right? It's cotton candy. Yes. There's nothing too deep really there. There's a lot of long fight scenes if you like that.
Yeah. They just took zero creativity and zero license and just painted by numbers, and it was fine, I guess. I just found myself just looking away and doing other stuff while it was on.
Yeah. Now there's one scene where Momo is trying to get the girl to come and get up on the horse, and he just turns and looks and goes, "Woman, come." And I feel like that's kind of what they were relying on.
Yeah.
Do you think if they made a sequel, Conan the Destroyer, since there was a sequel to the original, now, over 10 years later, do you think they could do a better job now?
I mean, they could have done a better job then, but
it'd be better to just make a new thing, I think, instead of trying to retcon and rework this fucking shit.
Right.
Just reboot again.
Yeah. Honestly, I would love to see Conan with some sort of a twist. because I just want to revel in all the whiny ass white bread ass Americans going like, "Oh, it's woke. They made Conan woke."
No, that's why I'm saying, like, I would love it if they made like Conan. He's like the biggest, even more badass, right? But he when he gets his prize and it's like a dude, he's just gay Conan. People would hate that, bro.
Oh hell yeah, hell
the
yeah!
Fox News crowd would be bent all out of shape, bro. And then,
exactly. We'd never hear the end of it. Fucking, I can hear Tucker Carlson crying already.
It would be awesome.
Oh yeah,
so
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't have anything to say about this movie. Like it existed, it happened, it was fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Like I was saying, the best thing they did was not cast The Rock. It was the best fucking thing.
Yeah. That was a
this
good
is another
decision.
one of those movies that I had heard about. It, they were going to make another Conan movie, and I was like, whatever happened to that? Are they ever going to make that movie? And I looked, and it came out like 7 years ago, and I was like,
no, you just rightfully pass it up like RoboCop.
Yeah,
you hear about it, and
yeah.
like, huh. And then you just go live your life and don't see that.
It came out, and it was like, oh, let's not promote that as much as we thought.
Yeah. So, but I mean, honestly, it is interesting in the fact that they can do everything right and still somehow miss. It's kind of a study in and of itself. You can look into the science of reboots with Conan. Just like sometimes hitting every mark directly on the head isn't what you want sometimes, or maybe just don't reboot Conan. Maybe that's just a movie that doesn't need a reboot. Like
I don't.
The way they did it left no character. You know what I mean? It left no flavor.
I feel like the Conan character is supposed to be like a silent protagonist, like because like the reader / watcher is supposed to be able to envision themselves as Conan, like so they don't want to infuse Conan the Barbarian with too much personality or character because the reader is supposed to be
that's right. Yeah,
the character.
And that's why it's everything that's like that sucks.
And that's boomer shit, that's old school ass like boomer
and
like
hyper masculine, hyper erotic fantasy world.
Exactly.
I mean, I'd like to know the word count.
Nukem.
I'd like to know the word count of the Schwarzenegger character Conan versus the Momoa character Conan, because I really feel like Momoa was talking a lot more for the character than Conan did in than Schwarzenegger did in the original.
Momoa actually speaks English.
Yeah, I was about to say
Arnold kind of didn't at the time.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know.
Not as much at the time.
I feel like him not talking as much did better for the character.
Yeah, because
because that's supposed to be insert yourself here. Is one of those you put your face in, take the picture. It's like escapism, wish fulfillment bullshit, and which that's not boomer. That's been happening forever. Like a lot of movies are like that.
I mean, motherfuckers doing that yesterday
for different people, But that's just what it was. It's not that much there.
Have you been on Call of Duty lately?
The storytelling of yesteryear, like they brought nothing new to the table. It felt like I don't know.
They could have mixed it up and been more like Dredd, and like you could have taken Conan, a guy named Conan that's kind of big, and done something more interesting with him, but didn't really.
But they didn't.
They did not.
They should have put him in Mega City and had him fight his way to the top of a 200-story tenement. That'd have been sick. Missed the mark.
Give him the sword and let him go.
Does anyone know if this movie was viewed as a failure?
I do not know.
Yes.
I thought it did all right, but
I mean,
yeah, I think.
Or was it just kind of like a meh when it came out as well?
I think it's gotten like a 4 out of 10 on average. Like,
did it make a bunch of money in spite of all of that? Because that's
I mean, it launched fucking Homeboy's career pretty much like that. And
essentially,
coming out, it did fine. Budget was $90 million. They spent a ton of money on it. I don't know what it made.
Oh no, it did not make its money.
Well, that was
Yeah, they spent 90 million on it and they made 63.5. So, yeah. You know what? They almost tapped John Milius to direct this movie.
Oof, that would have
been more appropriate to the Conan IP, but and that's the type of person I think about. When I think about Conan the Barbarian, I think about like limp dick, like crypto libertarians, like shouting at their own shadow with a gun in their hand, like, you know, what
government.
I mean?
The
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
That's what the whole Conan IP is for. You know what I'm saying? It's not meant to be a good story. It's meant to entertain knuckle dragging libertarians. Like,
I was about to say, it's stupid. It's supposed to be fucking basic fucking imagination fodder for people that don't think about it.
Yeah,
don't want to think about it. Really don't feel like thinking about it, or maybe can't think about it.
I think it may have even been a better movie if John Milius had directed it. Just
lean into it, and he's just like,
yeah.
It's like Conan versus the stupid bitches. He's just,
don't look at my little dick. I'll kill you if you look at my little dick. Don't look at it.
All right, so let's see what.
Close your eyes when you're giving me head. Don't look at me.
Don't open your mouth that wide. What are you doing?
What are you?
Oh god!
It's
off the rails.
I think I think chat was split down the middle. I think there was 1 and 1.
Yeah,
on this one. So,
oh, well, somebody likes Momoa.
Yeah,
he must have got work done. He looks different now than he did in this movie. He's like
nah,
a
that's
bit
just
longer in the tooth.
That's just what happens when you start hitting the gym on the regular.
Your brow just grows. There's like, let's get more brow.
I'm doing my brow workout. 2.
Well, I mean,
you get older.
You realize that
brow.
You realize that's what folks like about you. You just kind of start leaning into it and walking.
No, he looks different now for sure. And
that's why every single one of my selfies, I'm like,
I mean, it's been 11 years since that movie
looking at
came
you
out.
from under this crater.
I think he had work done to not look older, but just look different.
I don't know. I feel like Momoa is a cool guy. I don't know him, but he seems like he's all right. Because he doesn't give a fuck. That's why he's not acting in any single role. He's just out there hanging out. He's just on set, just goofing off. Which is why
I've made a shitload of money. I'm just gonna fucking hang.
Talking to fish and shit. And like, which way they swim?
What's up, fish?
He's like, I'm just gonna ride this Aquaman ticket.
Yeah. He's got his bills paid. He's not trying to fucking get that Elon money.
Showing the late night talk show host how to crack bullwhips.
From what I understand, he's like a family guy. He like loves his kids a lot and just like hangs out.
For a long time, he was married to like the daughter from the Cosby Show. What's her damn name?
Yeah, they just got a divorce not long ago, I think. Which is sad news because they were in love.
Hangs out with his buddy, The Rock.
Yeah. All right, I'm voting for Dredd.
All right, I'm voting for Dredd.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
4 for Dredd.
Yep.
5 for Dredd. 1 for Conan. So 25-5.
You existed. Good for you.
Good for you. Way to not be the worst movie anyone's ever seen. You did okay.
It did better than RoboCop.
I would
give it RoboCop. Hey, you did better.
I would
than
honestly
RoboCop.
give RoboCop a golden fucking L, fat fucking
big time.
golden L.
Oh my god,
yeah,
definitely.
Somebody hit the
failure on all.
Yeah,
on
this
all
might be the
elements. You know,
might be the golden L return.
Yeah. like not only are you a bad, boring movie, but like you missed the point of RoboCop. Like
Yep.
you just did bad. I award you no points. May God have mercy on your soul.
Eli's over here talking about
And
boy,
we're
there's
all
a
dumber
movie
for having listened
about the
to that.
writer of Conan.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of romantic drama about his love life while he was writing Conan. I bet it was
Interesting.
Probably,
See,
he was
I
probably
wanna
lonely.
I want to look into that. 'Cause I imagine Robert E. Howard is like a John Milius type. You know, he's just like angry about the size of his penis, like just fucking angry about it. Like murderously angry.
Like he watches porn while screaming at his dick. Why don't you look like that? What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? All right, so in round 1, Evil Dead is going to beat RoboCop, beat the pants off RoboCop, rightly so. And Judge Dredd moving forward over Conan the Barbarian. Into round 2, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Stick with us, chat. right, welcome back, chat. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight, talking movie reboots. Boy, howdy. We in it now.
We were all out of ideas for lists, so we did the movie reboot list. Worked out good.
Yeah, for when you just don't have a single good idea, you just got to do a reboot. All right, so just a quick little recap. Evil Dead beat RoboCop soundly, and Dread beat Conan the Barbarian. And in round number 2, we're looking at 2004's Dawn of the Dead versus Evil Dead, and 2012's Total Recall versus Dread. I feel like it's a good matchup. I feel like we couldn't have
This worked out perfectly, actually, because the two worst ones we got out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And now we have they're matched thematically, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is almost gonna negate a fucking loser's bracket.
Yeah, we almost don't need a loser's bracket at all in this one. But yeah, it's a pretty straightforward list this time. But we'll see. I'm curious to see what's gonna actually win this time, because I'm really not sure between these last 4. So let's get into it. Let's get right into it and take a look at the trailer for Dawn of the Dead. The oldest movie on the list. Boomer shit.
Hey, Vivian.
And look, I can go backwards.
Let me see. Hey, that's amazing. Hey.
Hey, you. Vivian, honey, are you okay?
Officials have declared a state of emergency. Everybody they kill gets up and kills. Residents are advised to find a safe place and stay there.
I've just been informed that we are going off the air and switching to the emergency broadcasting system.
Look up the road. There's a lot more of them. Why are they coming here?
Maybe they're coming for us.
Got the strange urge to play Project Zomboid in here.
Right.
Baby's slowly falling.
This makes me want to play
It's coming.
what's that Capcom game in a mall?
Oh, God.
Zombies. Dead Rising.
Oh yeah,
Dead Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they based the original Dead Rising game off of this movie, essentially.
I mean, that makes sense.
Is this just how the trailer goes? Did it white out?
No, I'm projecting the trailer and the film just burnt.
This trailer is hilarious, in my opinion.
Wow.
Because
that's an old
the
style
movie,
trailer, bro.
The movie is not scary like that. This is not a scary movie.
No, it's not a horror movie. It's like a human element kind of movie. It's like a zombie stories are not about zombies. They're about people. And that's why I love society. Yeah, that's why I love zombie movies so much, because they're more like commentary on society than like a horror movie. Because it boils right down. If you boil it right down, like the zombie in and of itself is a commentary on like the mindless person just moving through life, like, and yeah, I know it's a very sort of fucked up way of thinking that like, oh, I'm the main character, everybody else is just mindless NPCs, but that's the commentary,
Yeah. Real quick here, just was a big thanks to Big Buddy Bjorn for that Prime subscription. Thank you.
Snap! I need to have my thing up. Big Bjorn. Wow, 22 months, my man.
Wow, what a stud!
What an absolute Chad of a human being.
Big Buddy Bjorn for hooking me up with some work too.
Oh snap! There you go. Big Buddy Bjorn's out here making it happen, y'all.
Right.
That's just facts. But this movie, I gotta be honest, I absolutely fucking love this movie. And like, I don't know if I can have a long-winded explanation that sells everybody on it. I just love it. Like, full stop.
I don't need I don't need an explanation because I'm with you. Like
it's just a personal thing. I absolutely love this movie. This movie is like the reboot to end all reboots because it's so damn good. I feel like this movie is the reason why reboots became a thing. Just because like this movie was pretty successful, right? Like,
man, I was about to say at least the rash of them in the last almost 20 years that it's been like
right. Yeah, our generations. Yeah. Rash. Yeah, it's a good word for it. A rash of reboots we've had.
Well, this was the beginning of the zombie
craze.
Yes, the craze. Yeah, absolutely. That we're just now kind of coming out of. You know, like, it still kind of dominates video games with the Dead by Daylight and well, that's not a zombie game necessarily.
But at least a lot of people have stopped buying like.
Is it? Okay.
Like,
essentially,
people have stopped buying like their AR-15 magazines with fucking biohazard emblems on them. So
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's still pretty dominant in video game culture these days, but
yep. And it was before what that TV show ruined all zombie shit.
Yeah. The Walking Dead. Yeah.
Before it just oversaturated everything and went to shit and
the shambling corpses.
This movie was the beginning of like zombie culture of our generation, and Walking Dead put a bullet in its head. Like,
Like it started out cool and everything. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is just making zombie culture better," and then like it just rolled over and died.
Totally. They must have had it out for zombie culture because they just ruthlessly killed it,
dude.
I'm pretty sure they're still airing. What is it called?
Second half of a final season, or
the Return of the Walking Dead, or what is it? It's called Fear the Walking Dead. It's a whole other fucking show.
Well, they're going meta with it.
There's still a main Walking Dead that's happening right now.
Really?
Oh,
yeah, they're like they're on the final season and they're doing it in like 3 different parts.
Oh gee. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like 3 seasons to me.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
I like this movie a lot too because I've never been a fan of really horror movies and Jim just setting up bullshit situations trying to scare you. So I thought this was like a refreshing kind of take on it.
And I'm not gonna lie, I love the running, screaming zombies as opposed to just shambling corpses.
The shambling, yeah.
Yeah,
I like this movie a lot because it's more of like it's like a human element piece.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have all these different people that get trapped together in the mall from so many different walks of life. You got like the cop and the criminal. You've got like the nurse and the like rich asshole guy, which is played by that one guy who is now best known as Phil Dunphy. Yeah, is that what? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From Modern Family, he's such a fucking lovable doofus guy. Now, as I know him now, but he plays such a piece of shit in this movie. He does such a good job. I remember watching this way back in the day. I was 17 years old in 2004, and I was just like, God, I legitimately hate this person. Like, I hate the actor because he's such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So like, shout out to him, like, for really selling it, for really making you feel it.
I mean, that's how you know the actor is doing their job. They make you feel the feels, even when you're not looking at the feeling.
Yeah. So, and this is pretty straightforward. Have you guys seen the original Dawn of the Dead? The 70s mall thing? Yeah. It's phenomenal, of course. But of course, it's from the 70s. It's got a much different pacing. This movie came out in the age of Limp Bizkit, and you can kind of feel it a little bit, if you were around during that time. In Monroeville, Pennsylvania, a few miles from Pittsburgh.
What, the original was filmed there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Wait, was the original Dawn of the Dead the one where the zombies learn to use guns?
No, I believe you're thinking of Land of the Dead.
Yeah,
the zombies like kind of humanify, personify themselves, and at the end of the movie, the humans and the zombies like shake hands and like go their separate ways.
Yeah,
So the zombies
I like
go
that one
off
too.
and form that.
It's wild. Like,
the zombies go form their own like zombie colony.
like, they roll into town and like the zombies trying to pump their gas.
Yeah, the zombies start like reclaiming their humanity or whatever. So that's a silly fucking movie.
It is.
But
well, they figure out that's why all the zombies are coming to the mall, is because it's just like a place where people go.
Yeah. Like the zombies have they've retained a shadow of their former selves, so that's why they flock to places like that. So yeah,
basically avoid highly public spaces and the zombies won't be there.
I consider this movie like the reboot that started reboots, sort of. Whether that's correct or not, I wonder what. I want to do some research. I'm going to look up what was like the first reboot.
Oh, that's going to go way, way back.
No. You guys want to find love in your city today?
Nope.
84% have already found love.
This is a freak show.
Have you looked at this city?
No one knows what you guys are talking about. There's a spam bot in our YouTube.
There's a spam bot on YouTube. Sorry. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying.
Come check this place out.
So yeah. And Dawn of the Dead is up against Evil Dead. Now, I think Evil Dead Reboot is a great movie.
Apparently, Godzilla was one of the earliest reboots.
Yeah.
It was
Was
really
that like
made in
95?
94, and there was like an 84 version and a 2000 version.
It was a 98. Damn.
Well, there was a 98 one, but
The one where he looked like a big iguana.
they've been remaking that movie basically since they made the movie. I mean, no, that's a good point right there.
That's an early one
with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, 2000 or not 2000, 98. Yeah,
98 with Hank Azaria as the camera guy.
The Taco Bell, Yo Quiero Taco Bell,
Yeah.
the Chihuahua.
Yeah.
When I think about that Godzilla, all I can think about is Chihuahuas and Taco Bell. Thanks, capitalism.
Yeah.
But I think I like Dawn of the Dead better than Evil Dead. Personally. It's more fun. It's more it's more new metal.
It's damn sure that.
Yeah, less fake blood though. How you overcome that?
Well, there's plenty of blood. It's just not like record breaking amounts of blood.
And it's got a good bit of comedy in there.
Yeah. It's got a really fun second act. Like there's a fun and games montage they do when they're all like settled into the mall and they're all just like running around having fun basically in the mall, which is like part of that like fantasy that people get off on when it comes to zombie movies. Is just like having free reign of the world.
Of the mall. Yeah, I wish I could just do whatever I want in the mall.
Yeah.
No mall cop tell me what to do.
I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette in the food court.
Whoa,
that sounds pretty fun.
That's pretty 2004 right there. Cigarettes and food courts are both very 2004 things.
Yeah, no, man, I think I hit what I was aiming at then.
Walking around doing the Cartman voice. Whatever, I do what I want.
Yeah,
there you go. Skateboarding in the food court. There you go.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I'd vote for Dawn of the Dead too. If maybe it'd be different if it was if they made like Army of Darkness or something. But
yeah, that's what I want. I want a reboot of Army of Darkness. Not that it needs one. I just want it.
Right?
Want it.
Just want it.
Chat was tied 2-2. Can you believe that?
Wow. I can believe it. Because these are both good reboots.
Eli, would you believe I still have a pair of Trip bondage pants hanging way in the back of my closet? They're
coming back, so you'll be able to buy them again soon.
They just never went away.
You sell them on Etsy for like $200.
I probably could. Shit,
you could.
I mean, they're actually in decent shape too.
Music,
like they ain't all walked out and shit.
It's extra if they're walked out. $250 on Etsy.
Authentic.
Give me something to break. Back a chainsaw.
About your fucking face.
I'll skin your ass raw. And if my day keeps going this way, I just might break something
tonight.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So I think I honestly, full disclosure, I think I'm just nostalgic for that time. 2004 was a much simpler, albeit stupider time.
You mean you're not nostalgic for 2013, bro? You telling me?
2013 was one of the most boring times like ever. Which honestly, I'm pretty nostalgic for boring times because
my
these
2013
days,
was fantastic.
I honestly don't remember what
2013 was like partying at Argo's house. Like we were like doing drugs in Argo's apartment just every single night, and then just going to work the next day, maybe.
All right,
Yeah.
who's
I
voting?
think 2013 was a pretty all right year for me.
2013 was all right.
2013 was the Buckingham era.
Oh yeah,
Was
having
it?
illicit boxing matches with crowd and all.
Oh, was it really? Oh, snap.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I was just having a kid, so
Yeah, I guess I was thinking more about like 2006 or 7.
All right, we get it. You're old.
I'm
Okay.
old. Oh, whose hands are these?
Cut your hand off. You're old.
All right, who's voting for what? Justin, what are you voting for?
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. Argo?
You're muted.
Evil Dead.
Whoa. Eric?
I'm gonna go Dawn of the Dead. It's just fun.
I'm gonna go Dawn of the Dead. And then chat was tied.
Yep. Chat was tied.
All right. So that is gonna make it 20 points, 10 points for Dawn of the Dead, 2004's romp of a reboot, Dawn of the Dead. All right. Up next, Dread versus Total Recall, our last trailer of the evening. Excuse me. We're going to look at Total Recall. You know, it's funny, this movie. When they were promoting this movie, they had the gall to say, like, oh, we're basing more off the book than the original movie.
What the hell shouldn't I be?
They totally didn't at all.
Yeah, that's a fucking lie.
It's a fucking lie. Like all the names they changed.
Yeah, no. Okay, I'm having a hard time remembering this one because it was just such a. There was so much step by step redoing.
Happy trails,
Yep.
man. What is it? What's wrong? Yank that needle out before it takes.
But again, with John Cho with blonde hair there.
Yeah. Roldy.
Subverting expectations. Oh, you know what's funny? Isn't this like, wasn't Hollywood like really leaning deep into China, like trying to suck off China around this time? I'm pretty sure they were.
Oh my god.
Hence why he had to go to like the TCM memory guy. Chinese traditional medicine.
Why are you trying to kill me?
Your memory was erased. Your mind was implanted with a life you think you've lived. Oh, by the way.
Oh yeah, Eric, you made it all the way through this movie?
Yeah.
How many times did you have to shut your eyes?
Please don't let me see you everywhere.
Enough. A fucking enough.
Pretty flashy movie.
That whole opening sequence, they literally just had strobe lights.
Mm-hmm.
That was their budget.
Yeah.
It's called special effects, okay?
They should have gave
that opener. I almost just gave up on the movie. I was just like,
It was really bad. Even I was like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah. They messed up by not giving Jessica Biel 3 tits in this movie.
There is still 3 tits though.
They do the 3 tits,
Yeah.
but they do it in like the first 10 minutes of the movie. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of weird. And
should have given it Jessica Biel.
Like they were just like, hey, remember 3 tits? There's 3 tits. Remember 3 tits?
This movie.
I wish you had 3 hands, baby.
If this movie wasn't a reboot, if I had never seen the original Total Recall and only watched this, I would be enamored with this movie. They did a relatively pretty good job with this reboot. The most damning part of this movie is comparing it to the first movie, which is just so much better. And I think all of these movies that came, all these reboots, they're all from like the same decade. They're all from the same like 5-year period. And thus they all have the same sort of pacing, just like this early 2010s like movie pacing that just feels super bland and dumb. And they all have it. Like every single one of these movies, with the exception of, you know, Dawn of the Dead, which is from a different time, have this pacing, the same like timing. That's just like, yeah.
It kind of leaves dead spots.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to put my finger on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason we don't usually talk about the movies from those times. There's a reason we do 80s this and 90s that.
Yeah, exactly. This really was a dark age in Hollywood. Like,
cinema was having a hard time.
Had a stroke. Hollywood had a fucking stroke and just like lost control of the left half of its body and fucking didn't know what it was doing. And this movie suffers from that. It has that same kind of timing and pacing. It's like, even though you can tell this exact same story beat for beat, it's just not as good because it's timed. It's so weird. It's just paced so weird.
They're missing a mutant with a funny arm, and they didn't go to Mars.
They didn't go to fucking Mars. What's with that?
That part pissed me off more than anything in the entire fucking thing. It could be boring. It could have bad pacing. It could everything else. They didn't fucking go to Mars.
Where he even says, I want to go to Mars.
It's all terrorists. He's like watching terrorist attacks on Mars. Like, I want to go there.
This movie does like the fake out thing where you see like a big lady and it's like, oh, that's part of this. There's this guy's right there. Right?
She says 2 weeks.
Yeah. She says 2 weeks and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then he's like, oh no, he's the fucking bald
it's the other guy.
There.
It's the guy. Yeah. I'm here for 3 days. How long? 3 days. 3 days. Like,
thank you.
Yeah. Like,
where the fuck am I going then? I was kind of sleeping through this movie because it was
I was sleeping through this movie too. I was playing video games as I watched it.
Yeah, I was definitely.
No, he was going because in this world, in the Total Recall world, the only like habitable places on Earth are like Australia and the UK, basically. And I think he's going from one to the other.
Oh,
yeah, they have the whole tunnel system through the center of the Earth.
One thing I forgot about is like, what's the big thing? Because in the original one, the big thing was the company was trying to monopolize oxygen on Mars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't go to Mars on this one. So what was the big thing? I can't remember.
The guy is trying to basically pin the colony, which is Australia, as like terrorism. That's what terrorism is.
Yeah.
So we need to build more robots and we need to kill all the terrorists.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And we're going to build a new place.
Yeah. Instead of like selling oxygen to people on Mars, they made it more like they framed it more like a real estate thing. It was like a real estate fucking.
They made it an America movie.
They made
well, and it was already like an equality issue with like everybody that lived on the UK side of the world.
Yeah.
Had a better life than the people on the Australia side of the world.
Yeah.
Like it was like the rich and smart versus the poor and shitty.
Yeah.
And they used them for labor.
If you're gonna remake the movie almost beat for beat like they did, why not just remake it beat for beat? Like, why do they feel the need to change that?
You literally took the words out of my mouth. Like, that was my next point. Was like everything else about this movie is like literal beat for beat. You can probably watch them side by side, and they're gonna like be at the same scene at the same time.
Let me ask somebody that watched it more closely than I did. Did they take out like the little bit of ambiguity that like he had as Hauser in the original one? It was like Hauser was like a bad guy through and through, right? And he's like,
Yes.
oh, I was just going undercover with the good guys, right?
Yeah.
And hence, like the takeaway that I got from the original movie, which was like you can be who you want to be, not who you're programmed.
Right. Yeah. He made
Did
the
they
decision.
fuck that up?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No. Like, and the Hauser character in this one is not clearly defined like it was in the original for
I
sure.
thought I remember a scene where he was like, "Oh, I was a good guy all along. I'm Hauser," and I don't like or some bullshit like that. I was like, "Wait a minute. That's not how."
The Hauser in this one is a bad guy. Like he's the super patriot guy that they describe, which is actually the bad guy. He's working for the bad guys. But then he realizes that he'd rather not be that guy anymore. And that's how he meets Jessica Biel. And that's how they have that like matching scar and all of that stuff.
So
all
they
that
did fuck
happens
it up.
before. So basically they change him like unknowingly.
I remember now. What happened was I watched the extended version, the extended Blu-ray version, in which there is an uncredited appearance by oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Training Day white guy. What's his name?
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, thank you. Ethan Hawke is actually Hauser. Like, because you remember in the original movie, Schwarzenegger sits down and he watches the video to him from himself as Hauser, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, I'm Hauser.
Thanks
You
for
are
leading us
Hauser
to
too.
the
Thanks
bad
for
guy."
yeah, exactly." But in this one, he sits down and it's him, but then he pulls off his rubber face and he's actually somebody else. He's Ethan Hawke, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Hauser. Oh, so are you." Oh. And like,
So bad.
What are you doing? Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. If he's you, is he just wearing a rubber face the whole time?
And he doesn't even know.
He's just decided I'm never taking the rubber face off again. I'm just me now. Like,
This is me now, Mom.
What a mess, bro.
This is who I am.
It's a mess.
Yeah, that's
I can
a
see
good
why
way
they
to
cut that
describe
out of
this.
the theatrical version.
This movie is just a mess.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be made. No one was asking for it. No one was like, "Oh,
No, exactly.
Total Recall.
I mean,
could have been better."
Honestly, no one asked for any of these movies.
Nope.
Any of them.
Yeah.
I
And
asked
then
for
like
that
the
one. I was like,
the
"Yeah,
tracker
give me
is like in his hand. It's the phone instead of being like a golf ball out the nose.
Oh, come
yeah.
on. We need some bodyguard. Come on. Make a big
I want to
cast of
see
his
a,
head.
a giant rubber head. Yes.
That scene was awesome.
2
in
weeks.
the original.
2 weeks.
Bro. I want to watch the original now. All this talk of Total Recall just makes me want to watch the original.
You gotta cleanse it, yeah.
Which, if anybody's paying attention, Total Recall has become the original Total Recall has become probably like my number one favorite movie. Like it skyrocketed to like 1 or 2 on my list. Like it is in my top 5 absolute top favorite movies.
Yeah.
So I can't say this movie is just a god awful train wreck, because it's not. It's sloppy and it's a little bit of a mess, but they didn't they didn't completely miss the point. They didn't drag it through the mud. I feel like it's serviceable. and just like I said earlier, if I had never seen the original movie, I would have been enamored with this movie, because the original story is so great. Like the IP it's based on is just perfect. Just another sloppy remake no one asked for.
Just weird, man. Just
weird.
Yeah, just weird.
Sounds like it could have been all right.
I feel like they colored outside the wrong lines. You know what I mean?
Too many changes.
They colored inside the lines, but they took some creative license that went like,
they added a few lines.
I see where you tried. I don't know what you were going for, but I see your attempt.
Yeah.
So instead of coloring outside the lines, they just left big gaps where they were supposed to be coloring.
I just don't understand the whole what's his name?
The bad guy?
The
Bryan Cranston, what's his Copenhagen, or whatever.
Copenhagen, yeah.
I feel like Bryan Cranston did a good job. I feel like he delivers a better performance than Gary Oldman in RoboCop.
1,000%, yes. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
But is it better than Dredd?
No. God, no.
God, no.
I don't think anything else on this list is better than Dredd.
No. Dredd is basically what I'm looking for in a reboot. You have the same lore, the same universe, and you tell a totally different story. A creative story, well told, well illustrated, completely separate from the original, while Total Recall goes in the opposite direction from that, and they follow the original story beat for beat. And I find it just a little offensive that they try to defend themselves by saying, oh no, we were based more off the book than the original movie, la 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 la, even though there's like definitive things that were copied from the movie rather than the book, like the names and stuff like that.
Dude, that we're doing more like the book than the movie in remakes was overplayed for a while. Like
it's just funny that they would try to say that and then it's just a flat lie.
And then just not,
yeah, it's just not true at all.
Well, they were counting on people having not read the original shit. Like they were counting on people not knowing what the book is that they're quote unquote basing it off of.
Right. And it just goes to show, like, in today's world, like, you can watch a movie and be half an expert and read a book and be a full expert, like people just can't be bothered to consume content longer than 30 seconds anymore. Like, so you can just lie. You can just, just lie. No one knows.
You
no
think
one
people
knows
just go on TV and tell lies, bro?
Matter of fact, we've been lying this whole time. This whole show has been a lie.
Yeah, RoboCop's actually the best. We're full of shit.
I can't say that. I can't lie that bad, man. I can lie for you, but I can't lie like that.
How much it'll take somebody busts out a pocketbook? I want you to sell RoboCop.
How much money you got to throw at it?
Yeah,
you'll be shilling RoboCop.
About to say, you go to chuck 5 figures at me. Watch this. I have you watching.
Yeah, I will simp for RoboCop.
Hey, check out this cast, bro. Keaton, you can't fuck with it.
Joel Kinnison.
That's my boy.
That's my boy.
Yeah, dap him up. That's Joel. All right. So chat with Dredd. Chat is not playing this one. Chat's not playing.
Yeah.
Chat holds Total Recall sacrosanct too. So
honestly, the Total Recall reboot is serviceable. I think it's worth existing for one purpose, to get people who haven't seen the original movie to go and watch it. You know, the Total Recall reboot is basically an ad for the original movie, which you need to see if you have not.
Also,
which is good. That's a good thing.
I thought it was shitty casting for the main guy, like Colin Farrell. Like,
I agree.
Wasn't it?
No,
you know what's funny?
He's cool, but he's not for that.
No, he's no Doug Quaid.
They should have got The Rock to be Doug
Oh,
Quaid.
yeah.
Oh,
Now you're talking. That would have raised the level from a 4
let's
to
see
a
a big
7.
ass,
Honestly,
light come out of his nose, and he just pulls it straight out because his nose so big.
I can appreciate that. That's a hilarious callback to a joke from earlier, but no shit, that he would have been better as
no,
like
full
legitimately, like
he would have been.
He would have
been better. Because he's supposed to be kind of a dumb meathead, you know, who's just kind of oblivious to the world because, you know, he's all influenced in the head, which you don't know about in the beginning, which makes the whole I want to go to Mars scene make sense when you realize that he's like he's like he's a brainwashed secret agent, and that's why watching terrorist activity on TV seems desirable to his mind, you know, like because he wants to be in the action. You know what I'm saying?
I hear Baghdad's super nice this time of year.
Afghanistan seems super nice this time of year.
Yeah, and another disappointing thing was Bill Nye didn't have like a man as a tumor.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Did they cut out Guado in this?
Oh, big time! Yeah, they cut out the whole thing. Yeah.
So they're just like, all right, nobody Guado on this. Like, we're going
the first half of this movie is pretty fucking spot on, and like I think that's why I have such a golf clap for it. It's the second half of the movie where they fucking lose me for sure. Like the third act is just complete. It's just a mess. They just insert more explosions in like early 2000s. I mean, early 2010s action scenes.
Oh, lens flare.
God,
everywhere.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah, that's lens flare. I wear glasses. I don't need more fucking lens flare. Okay,
dude.
That whole scene with the zero gravity, with the fighting and the zero gravity, and he's like shooting to propel them.
What's with humanity? Humanity must miss lens flare because at the same time lens flare became a thing in cinema, polarized glasses became a thing in real life. So like as the lens flare disappeared from reality, it became a thing in cinema.
Well, you can thank J.J. Abrams for that shit. He was like, "It's a cool effect. It's the best.
It's cool. It looks cool, guys.
It looks like you're wearing fucking dirty glasses.
It's Star Trek. It looks space age." Anyway, so yeah, Dredd, 100%. Justin, what do you say?
I'm going Dredd.
Argo, what about you?
I'm going Dredd. Fuck Len Wiseman.
Eric, what about you?
Oh, it's Def Dredd. I don't know who Glenn is, but I guess fuck him too.
Len Wiseman is the guy that directed Total Recall.
And fuck Glenn Leisman too.
Yeah. Fuck Glenn and Glenn. Yeah, this is the guy that did the Underworld series.
Really?
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Those those ain't not. Yeah, I'd rather watch
same guy. Same guy.
Underworld. And what did chat say? Chat said Dredd?
Yeah, they said Dredd.
Way to go, chat. Way to go. 25 points to nothing.
Sorry, Total Recall.
Total Recall, you were okay. If the original movie wasn't so fucking good, maybe it would have been better. But like,
nope.
Speaking of like rebooting movies that don't need a reboot, Total Recall, like full stop.
Yeah, but even without the first one, this one doesn't. It's not that entertaining.
rebooting Total Recall is like rebooting Citizen Kane. Like
fucking RoboCop.
Like, why are you gonna pick off the top of the shelf, like the tippy top of the
Actually,
ladder?
I think I can make it better. Actually, Citizen Kane.
Yeah, actually,
you just put Guado in there. He's like, "Yo, he's like, my phone, people."
There you go.
I feel weird referring to Citizen Kane that way because I don't like Citizen Kane. I think it's a dumb fucking movie, and actually, I'm gonna reboot it myself. But people understand what I mean when I say Citizen Kane because it's so widely regarded as the best movie ever, even though it's kind of fucking dumb. Citizen Kane is not that good, y'all.
We're gonna have to do like a movie classics list with that, and like some other bullshit on it.
I want to start like a side chats podcast where we just kind of shoot the shit on stuff. Maybe every other weekend. Now that we're doing every other weekend for Film Heat.
All right.
Where we can just talk shit about Citizen Kane all day.
Rip on dead people.
Yeah.
I'll do
They're
it.
not special because they're dead.
Fuck you, dead people.
I'll be dead one day. Nobody's going to give a shit about me, so fuck you. All right.
Death does not absolve you of your bad stuff.
Are we gonna break now? Or are we gonna do semifinals and then break?
We'll break now and then run the thing and come
all
out
right.
real
Let's
quick.
break now because I have to pee, and then we'll be back and we're gonna take out the semifinals and the losers bracket before we get to the main event of the evening, the finals. Thanks for hanging out, chat. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, chat. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. I'm talking movie reboots. Just getting real sloppy with it with us tonight. We're still getting the hang of this every other weekend schedule, so you know, we're having fun. We like to have fun here. So thanks so much for hanging out and having fun with us. Let's get right back to it. Hang on a minute. All right. So our semi-final bracket of the evening is going to be Dawn of the Dead 2004 versus Dread 2012. We've seen the trailers, so let's get right to it. Any first impressions right off the bat?
One of these is better.
Is that so?
Yep.
Well, that's good. Otherwise, we'd be here all night.
Here's the thing. One of these movies is better, but I'm not sure which one I enjoyed more. There's that.
One of these movies is better, but I don't know which it is. Argo, which of these do you think is better?
I think it's Dread.
You think it's Dread?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dread is a better made movie.
It's better than the original.
It's probably the only one on the list that is better than the original.
I mean, have you seen the original Dawn of the Dead though? It's not.
I have. And
isn't it rough?
It's cheesy.
It's like a 70s B movie, isn't it?
It's
like,
from the 70s, so it's like a different era of Hollywood. So
yeah, it's kind of a B movie. It's supposed to be kind of cheesy. It's supposed to, that to me doesn't make it bad though.
No.
So
I think the first one's great, but as far as how much better than the original it is, Dread is the winner there.
Yeah, by like miles.
Because Judge Dredd is kind of a garbage shit piece. Like,
dude,
I'm not gonna
and
lie.
it is an affront to the IP. Like,
yeah.
I wasn't very familiar with like the comic books or whatever it's from. I thought it was just some garbage Sylvester Stallone did, which brings down the fucking original, I guess.
Yeah, no,
it's actually like a UK based comic thing.
Mm-hmm. I didn't find out about it until the first movie had come out, and I was like, "Yeah, this is awesome! Judge Dredd is awesome!" Because a kid. And
I mean, I liked it as a kid too. Yeah.
And then I found out about the comics, and I read a few of them, and I was like, "This is nothing like that movie. This is intense."
Yeah, Judge Dredd is a fictional character, but created by John Wagner and Carlos Ezquerra. He first appeared in the second issue of 2000 AD, which is a British weekly anthology comic. He's the magazine's longest running character.
Oh,
okay.
I really did enjoy the styling of Dredd. To me, that might be the best comic book adaptation movie, just because it's so visual and pretty cool looking.
There was several elements throughout the movie that reminded me of the Fallout games, like the drug, the slow-mo that they do in the funky liquid-filled inhalers.
Mm-hmm.
It's straight out of Fallout.
And the character of Dredd and his name invoke discussions of police states, authoritarianism, and rule of law. Now, I think one thing we can say about both these movies, the original and this one, they kind of overlook those discussions, and they're more just like badass. it's so badass. You know,
I mean, in the new one, they kind of do to an extent, but it's kind of downplayed in the way that he talks about his job, the way he talks about the sentencing and execution and shit. Like, I kind of feel like the way that the judges were portrayed is kind of a statement on a police state, on the authoritarianism. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and you're right. This new one, it is for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, in the original, that's completely whitewashed out. Like, it is not there at all. It is literally just a bootlickery. Like, it is.
In the original, he gets kind of like screwed over by the system, right? And he gets like forced out. So they do kind of portray corruption in the fucking world and ranks, I guess. But it's not like I don't think it's really a main stay.
But I think even that sort of misses the point they're trying to make, because like inside corruption is one thing, because they're trying to portray Dredd as like, oh, I'm a good guy, the system's bad, and when like really no, they're all bad. I like in the new one, the atmosphere tells the story for like better, you know. When they're going through this project that serves as like a fortress for like a crime boss, that in and of itself like builds this world, this story of the type of crime that is fostered by this authoritarian world that needs this. The judges need these crime bosses to exist, otherwise their own existence isn't justified. You know, and it's kind of a beautiful thing the way they can illustrate that without saying it at all. So Dredd is a really good movie.
Definitely.
Is it better than Dawn of the Dead? And I think I might have to agree with Argo.
It's just badass.
It is. It keeps that badassness.
I like the guns.
While being better, I think it serves the purpose of the story better than the original. And while
that's a gun I actually know.
Dawn of the Dead 04.
They were using Glocks, right?
Some of them. They a few of the, not the ones that the judges were carrying. Those were highly modified something. I'm not entirely sure what the base gun was that they put on.
I think they were Glocks.
They could have been.
Like
they very well
voice activated, like
yeah.
He had like different ammo cartridges inside of one cartridge.
There's the regular like pistol magazine that they have in the grip, but then there's that other little fucking launcher magazine that dispenses other stuff out of the front, and it's
because they have like a less than lethal option on their guns. He can like switch between like less than lethal and super lethal.
That's what I'm saying is like the magazine in the grip is going to be just your basic ammo. All that fancy shit's going to be that one out front.
Yeah, it's the Glock 17, which is like,
is that what it was based on?
It's like a lot of law enforcement carry that gun.
Like Glock 17 is probably like the Glock 17 and Glock 19 are probably the most carried handguns on the fucking planet. Like, that's like the AK-47. There's more of them exist in more places at one time ever and have been built than basically any fucking thing else. Like it rivals the Mosin Nagant, and that thing was in production for 150 fucking years.
Yeah. So many generations.
All right. It's a tough one. I wouldn't be mad if either one of these went on. I feel like we'll probably see this matchup again because think Dawn of the Dead is gonna win the losers bracket.
I mean, yeah, because it is the two best movies of the night, just period.
I'll go ahead and vote Dread. I like Dawn of the Dead a lot.
Not necessarily, in my opinion, the two best movies.
Well, no.
What's your second favorite? What's your number two then, Argo?
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Yeah, I was about to say I like Evil Dead a lot.
Ooh, sorry. Something
Evil
fell.
Dead is a phenomenal remake as well, and it may come back and make an appearance in the finale. I don't know.
Evil Dead was really good.
Dawn of the Dead is like, I guess it's just more of my taste. But Dawn of the Dead is great until they get to the mall and everything slows down, and then I'm just bored.
That opening scene that they sell in that trailer for Dawn of the Dead is great.
Oh, it's the
most
one of the
intense
greatest
part of the movie.
Zombie movie openings. And
Yeah,
then you have that whole montage or like clip montage with the Johnny Cash as the credits, the opening credits roll.
Oh yeah,
Perfect, great.
When the man comes around,
man. God,
And then Zombie Baby.
Oh, I forgot. I totally
Zombie Baby.
Forgot about that. Oh, jeez. But as far as being a good movie and being a good adaptation of the story, I think Dread takes it. So
100.
I'm going to vote for Dread.
Same.
Yeah, I got to go with Dread.
Did the chat vote come back?
Yeah, it was nil. So
no worries. All right, 20-0. I'll send Dread as our first contestant in the finale. And now it's time for the losers bracket. So if you're out there chatting, you want to vote in the losers bracket, no polls for this one. Just type it in chat and we'll count them all individually. So up first, we've got Total Recall versus RoboCop.
We just have Total Recall. I don't see anything else here.
Yeah, this is not a fucking question. Total Recall, absolutely. RoboCop is hot garbage, and I hate it.
It was the opposite. It was the opposite of the original.
Yeah, like way to just miss entirely. Like just a big fucking whiff.
Also, and there was like the scene where I think they put him together and he's like malfunctioning or something, and someone in like the boardroom is like, I wouldn't buy that for $1 or some bullshit.
Oh yeah,
why are you even doing that?
I cringed.
Bullshit.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ!
So yeah, no reason to vote RoboCop.
No reason to vote RoboCop. Going once, going twice. Moving on.
Poor Jay, however you pronounce his last name, Canadian Jay, from the Seth Rogen gang.
Oh, Jay Baruchel or whatever.
Yeah. Because that
Okay.
was probably like his chance to get a break out from that group and start doing some other shit, and he just happened to get put on a shit project where his acting aesthetic didn't really work either.
No, like nothing in that movie fucking worked at all. They had so many big names, and yeah, this is the worst thing that happened in anybody's career that was involved with that movie for sure. All right, up next we've got Evil Dead versus Conan the Barbarian. This is easy for me. Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
I'm gonna vote Conan.
Whoa!
Descent.
Justin just got to be a contrarian.
Whoa!
Like just don't know. I don't know.
Justin,
Not into the blood and gore.
I get it.
It sounded like it lost a bit from the first one. If you said the first one was more like campy or whatever, and this one they're just like straight up horror movie. I don't know, man.
I appreciate it because it was redone by the original gang. It has their blessing fully all the way through.
Yeah.
Right. I've also noticed a lot of people have just started at Evil Dead 2 and went straight to Army of Darkness. A lot of people never saw the original Evil Dead. And
the original Evil Dead was a little bit sloppy. Evil Dead 2 is almost like a reboot of the first one.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really is.
It kind of is. It's like a retake of the first one rather than like a reboot.
Do you really think Bruce Campbell would have went out to that cabin twice?
Let's do it again. I had a great time.
Right.
So
but yeah, it seemed like it was more of a redo then, and it was a little campier of a deal. I guess in the first one, when they were like trying to make a horror movie, they were like, "This isn't really a horror movie."
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And it really wasn't. It's almost like a comedy adventure.
He whacks his girlfriend's head off with a shovel, and then after he buries her, she comes out of the ground and starts dancing around and like juggling her head.
Yeah.
It's a better movie.
They were trying to make a horror movie.
Oh, we got an Evil Dead in chat. Thank you, Hellion Unreal. We see you.
And then like for the second one, they did that again, but they leaned into the camp.
But
yeah,
not my bag.
All right, Evil Dead moving forward. All right, up next, Total Recall versus Evil Dead.
That's not even tough. Evil Dead.
Get your ass not to Mars. To us, to Austria.
Get your ass to the cabin in the woods.
I feel like
I'm gonna go Evil Dead on this one.
Was what they were trying to do. You know what I mean?
Got an Evil Dead in chat.
Colin just wanted to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
He just wanted to go. He just wanted to be in Bruges.
He just wanted a pint.
I mean, I'm going to recall. I didn't like Evil Dead.
Well,
actually, no, he didn't want a pint. He was complaining about that. I remember now. He's like, "Why do we come and sit here every day, drinking this shitty beer?"
Yeah.
No offense.
Oh, yeah, and they were like on the transport, and he's like, "Why do we always sit in the same seat?" And the guy's like, "You want to go sit over there? We can go sit over there. Sit over there." I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that was the only bit of comedy in that whole movie right there.
Yeah. All right, Evil Dead moving forward. And now
round 2 again.
Now we're back to Heat 3 again. What's it gonna be? What's moving on to the finale? Here's your chance.
Well, I'm not changing my vote.
No, you're going Dawn of the Dead.
Evil Dead. I'm going Evil Dead.
You got the movie with Dead in it.
You know what? I'm going to go Evil Dead this time too.
Whoa!
I'm going 2013. Evil Dead.
I'm going Dawn of the Dead. It's got Ving Rhames. What do you want?
I mean, Ving Rhames is awesome.
It's got Ty. What's his name? Ty Brownson.
Ty Burrell.
Burrell.
Bill
Dunphy.
Is that the guy from the Fast and the Furious movies?
No.
He's from Modern Family.
Family. It's about family. Modern Family.
Movie about family.
You live life a quarter mile at a time with my modern family. Dominic Toretto.
What am I voting for?
It's about family.
Which one has more white people dying?
Evil Dead.
It's only like a few people. It's like a whole society dies and dead. So
it's true.
Big picture.
This is a really difficult one for me because, like, I just personally like Dawn of the Dead a whole lot. But I feel like the Evil Dead reboot is a better reboot. I think I'm going to go Evil Dead. I think I'm going to switch it up.
Oh, we got an Evil Dead.
That doesn't matter because chat is taking it out of your hands.
Oh, chat is commandeering. Chat has entered the chat. All right. And that's going to send Evil Dead on to finale, usurping Dawn of the Dead.
Dread versus Dead here. I love when they rhyme.
Groovy.
Is this our first final with like movies after 2010 as both of the movies?
It's not really our style.
I think, and this is the first time in weeks we've had a final that was different from the semifinal. I think if you go back and watch like the last few episodes of the show, the final and the semifinal have been the same matchup.
Yeah, we mighty duck that shit.
We're old and we're setting our ways, okay?
That's true. That's why I mean, but hey,
says the youngest guy on the panel.
Still old.
Thank you for that compliment.
I try to change things.
Eat your fucking pudding.
Hey, bitch! I still got all my teeth.
I love that joke in the Kids in the Hall show. You guys watching the new Kids in the Hall? It's good.
Oh, I haven't seen the new shit. No,
you're the baby of the group. You're only 59. All right. Dread versus Dead. 2012 versus 2013. What's it going to be, y'all? Honestly, I think I know what my vote is. Right off the bat. Like, I mean, my initial gut reaction.
I like both of these movies for a lot of reasons.
5 minutes.
Let me tell you why I'm voting the way I'm voting. Right off the bat. Because one of these movies is more of an improvement on the original than the other one is. And I think you know.
I don't know. I think they're both pretty solid fucking improvements on the original.
I mean,
by a lot.
They may both be improvements on the original, and that's why they're in the finale.
Only one.
One of these movies. One of these movies is a major improvement on the original.
Yes. And that's why it deserves to win.
Like, these are both good movies. You know?
So you're saying it's Dread without telling me it's Dread.
I'm saying it's Dread because, like, these are both very, very well done movies. But we have to consider all the criteria when we're doing these lists. And how much better they are than the original has to be a criteria.
I think that's the main.
Yeah.
That's the biggest criteria of this list is how much better than the original is it?
Yeah. And I just think Dread is so much better. It redefined the movie. It's like it leaves the original in the dust. While the original Evil Dead may have been a sloppy movie made by some stoned 20-somethings in the woods, it was still good. It was still a great movie, the original Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
The original Dread is kind of a fucking studio turd made by fucking billionaires.
It is exactly that.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I would posit that Dredd deserves the win. Personally.
Yes, I agree.
Even
Carl
Evil
Urban.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Carl Urban, man.
He even has a passable American accent.
Yeah. I mean, he's only from New Zealand.
Yeah. His accent is so mild. I was just watching interviews with him recently.
Kiwi, huh?
Yeah. He's from some small town in New Zealand.
And he's done so much.
Yeah, seriously. He's been in so much.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor.
Yeah. He's great. I'm down with Carl Urban.
I'm way down with Carl Urban. I love The Boys so much. I couldn't tell you if a Cockney accent was dodgy or not.
Me
Don't care.
Don't care.
Was it in who was supposed to have a dodgy accent? Was that somebody in Dredd that you were talking about?
No, I was talking his William Butcher in The Boys has a Cockney accent. And everybody on Twitter, well, all the UK people on Twitter were
White
like,
people Twitter.
That accent's not good, eh? Like,
that's a terrible accent there, governor.
That's a terrible accent, governor. And I'm like, okay, whatever you say. Fucking
Carl Urban was a stormtrooper, uncredited in the last Star Wars movie. In the Skywalker series.
They can say anybody because I was a stormtrooper uncredited in the last Skywalker movie too. So
me too. You can't prove
they
I wasn't.
credited me.
That was the fat one.
I believe that Carl Urban was though.
You're a little fat for a stormtrooper, aren't you? Okay, bitch, stay here.
I'm here to rescue you. Well, I was here to rescue you, but. All right. I'm counting it. I'm going Dredd.
Yep. Send it.
2, 3.
I think, Evil Dead got the chat vote.
It's a strong second place.
Evil Dead got a chat vote.
Ain't nothing wrong with second place. It's prestigious.
If you ain't first, you're last.
I was
high when I said that, Ricky.
I was high when I said that.
Hell, Ricky.
Eric, where's your vote going?
Oh man, this one is tough. All right,
It's
both
only
of these
0.5.
movies visually and aesthetically make my brain dump dopamine like it's insane. I think I'm gonna go with chat and vote Evil Dead.
Ooh, dissenter. That's okay. I like a close final. I didn't put the numbers in right, but that's fine. Everything adds up the same.
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out.
Checks out. Let's take a look at this leaderboard here. All right. So, in last place, absolute last place, is the 2014 RoboCop. A travesty. An absolute fucking travesty.
Please don't
watch it.
And if you do watch it, pirate it. Make sure it's good and stolen so that the people that made this movie get nothing.
Please.
Make sure that the people that made this movie lose money.
Let's say if you can find a way to pirate it where it actually costs them money, then please do that.
And in 5th place is 2011 Conan the Barbarian, which honestly, I have to give them credit because like I've never seen a movie do nothing wrong but somehow get it wrong at the same time. like I've never seen something check all the boxes and then still suck. But here we are, Conan the Barbarian.
It's whatever.
It wins the award. It's the most meh movie I think I've ever seen in my life.
It's fine.
I liked it better than Total Recall, but that's just me personal.
It wins the golden meh.
Meh. And better casting than Total Recall.
Are we gonna actually pop out the golden L for RoboCop?
Oh, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna send it out in a couple of days.
All right.
I think RoboCop deserves a golden L for sure because like
getting the return of the golden L.
Like what a fucking whiff! Like what a failure! Like an absolute failure.
And you would think that RoboCop suit in black would look cool, but it does not.
It doesn't.
You know what? I can't even call it a whiff because a whiff indicates like you swung the bat and you just happened to miss the ball. RoboCop didn't swing the bat. RoboCop put the bat up its butt, like rather like
he put the bat up his butt and then puked on the plate.
Yeah, it just like did the wrong thing, like absolutely. Anyway, in 4th place is Total Recall, which I mean, honestly, it's fine. It's fine, yeah. And the placers in 3rd place, 2004's Dawn of the Dead. Definitely belongs on the dais. Definitely worth watching.
Oh yeah, if you've never seen it,
if you've not seen 2004 Dawn of the Dead, it's a great time. Go watch it. It's worth it. In 2nd place, 2013's Evil Dead. You earned that 2nd place. Almost won. One of the closest finales. One of the first movies, to come back from the losers bracket in a long time.
It's good.
It's
a gore fest. It's a good gore fest.
Yes, it is.
It's a gore fest and a half for sure.
But Shiloh Fernandez is no Carl Urban.
Yeah. In 1st place, 2012's Dread. Improving on the original by leaps and bounds. Being a good movie anywhere you shake it. I remember seeing this movie in theaters and being like, wow. Honestly, wow. Like, I didn't expect it to be good, but it really, really was. And I think I'm not alone there. A lot of people agree with me. Like, it is better than it should have been.
That movie makes me wish I had a 3D TV.
Right. Jeez. I want to be sitting inside those flying sparkles in slow motion.
Better than it had any right to be. And I wonder if it's only elevated by how shitty the original was. Might be a little bit biased, but that's okay.
Again, Carl Urban and his dedication to the character is just leaps and bounds.
How much do you reckon his face would hurt after spending that time all gone?
Apparently, he did it all the time on set. He never took the helmet off on set. Like, he stayed in character in between shots. Like, he did that whole Jim Carrey thing and pissed everybody off.
I am the law.
I don't know how pissed off, but like, people would try to talk to him, but he would not drop the dread.
I imagine dealing with a dread is much more tolerable than dealing with an Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Just guessing, but
or a Jim Carrey being Andy Kaufman being what's his face? Yeah. Brain fart.
But yeah, that is going to be our list this week. Our movie reboot list. I think it shaked out pretty damn well. We've got a list of movie reboots a mile long. This is only one portion of it, so we can definitely do another movie reboots in the future. I want to watch The Thing reboot because it's The Thing. Somebody asked me earlier tonight for an example of a requel, and it's not really a requel. It's like a prequel. The 2012 or whatever, The Thing. It's a reboot and a prequel rolled into one, and it's the perfect example of a pre-reboot, a prequel.
Also from that time, 2012.
A pre-boot?
Yeah. It's a pre-boot.
It's the pre-boots.
It's a
that word makes me laugh.
Pre-boot.
I don't know why. That makes me laugh.
Because
anyway,
it's silly.
That's going to be our list tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for joining us and hanging out with us. And I don't have any clue what we're going to be doing next week. But that's all the more reason to follow us on the socials, Facebook and Twitter.
Next week or week after?
Well, it'll be a week after. But next time, yeah, because now we're doing every other week because we need a little bit of extra time. I want to be able to edit these episodes into audio format for everybody who isn't able to join us live. There's a whole lot of folks who aren't able to join us live and consume the show exclusively through the audio podcast available anywhere podcasts are gotten. So
yeah,
check us out. Make sure
podcasts
you're
are found.
downloading those episodes. Helps us out tremendously, and we will help you get through your work week. So we will see you in your earbuds, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for the next episode of Film Heat. Thank you all so much, and have a good night.
Bye.